Let's open up with cheers.
Hey, y'all. Ooh, good choice in beer.
I know. I've never had it though.
I've never had this one.
Okay. So yeah, when you said German beer, I had to go hunting. And I usually have a regular liquor store that I go to, and they don't have a large beer selection. But I really probably should have went to like Kroger, where they have a bunch of custom beers, or gone over to the other liquor store where it has a lot of custom beers. So yeah, I poured mine very well without a head, and I'm using the oval glass from Three Nations Brewing. We still have their 6-year glass.
I'm using my Run for Beer. So be active, have fun, give back. Oregon Brewery Run Series. So I had to throw them in here.
And then we kind of like, what kind of fruit? I said, let's do some brats. I mean, brats always goes with beer, right? No matter what it is. And it's kind of it's kind of a German thing. So I literally went to the store and I grabbed Johnsonville brats. Okay. Now I grabbed just a regular Johnsonville brats, just original. And then I found one there that was just Texas enough for me. I'll bet you'll never guess when I say Texas enough. Why? Was
there a spice in there?
There was something in it.
Like a Carolina hot, they have.
Nope.
They have that hot honey now.
Nope. It's Texas. That's my best hint I can give you. It's Texas, and barbecue. Tim would normally have it on this desk.
Like soda, like besides a Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper flavoring. Okay.
I love it.
Oh,
you got a pretzel here?
I don't know which one it is now. Hold on.
Pretzel? I'm going to go look to see if I have a pretzel.
Oh, yeah. I also got a pretzel, too, because, I mean, come on. Okay. I've always got them in my refrigerator, first of all. But.
So this is what I got. And then all the sides. So I love having the sides here. So I have to tell you, because I know you said, do some kind of brat or something like that. And so I started looking, and I was like going, I didn't want to have to do the podcast from home again. And I knew that I would if I'd be cooking. So I looked, and I ended up finding Hot Diggity Dog. Okay. So the place is in Hot Diggity Dog. It is Hot Diggity. So that's the name of this. Okay. It's a food cart, if you will. But it's a stationary food cart that doesn't even look like a normal food cart, but for Oregon, it's a normal food cart. So I got there, and I said, hey, I'm going to be pairing this with the German beer. And so he suggested the spicy. I said, okay. And I said, hey, could you tell me a little history about Hot Diggity? And he goes, history? I go, yeah. How'd you come about? And he says, well, he worked across the street, because mind you, this is in a Home Depot. So they're Home Depot, and then, hey there, Robert. So it's right next to us. You come into the Home Depot parking lot, it's right there on the right. And but he was across the street as an electrician, and he had been going there for years, eating there. That was the closest food place. Well, in 2008 came a lot of layoffs. He goes, it seemed like every Friday more people were being laid off. And so he had told his coworkers, he goes, I think I could do that, as he pointed to the food cart. Well, he got laid off. So he went up to the owner at the time and said, so tell me more, tell me about this. And one thing led to another. He's owned the joint since 2008. Now there's sweet tea where it's more, it's teriyaki. And I got to taste his teriyaki sauce. Oh, it is lovely. He was going to be picking up his bottles tomorrow. So I got to taste it, but I didn't get to buy one. But it is sweet, but it's got a little, acidity to it. It was lovely because it wasn't too sweet. But he said that the spicy dog is the most popular. His name is Scott. I told him I'd throw him a shout out during the podcast. He gave me all the little containers so that I could, keep everything separate, including sauerkraut and grilled onions are always included for free if you want it. He also has biscuits and dogs. So he'll cut up a dog, put it in with a couple of biscuits. And if you want, also the whipped cream for the pooches. So okay. The pooches. He does make actual biscuits there. And I was like, this was fun. So I got to chat with him and got to learn about him. So it was kind of fun. And then I made my way over to Whole Foods. I walk in and I said, and I've only been to that Whole Foods to do a return with Amazon. So I've never gone beyond that entryway. And so I asked one of the ladies in the produce, I said, where's your beer? And she says, oh, there's a whole kiosk area in this corner. And I was like, all right. I said, I'm looking for German beer. And she says, oh, she goes, there's German beer there. I bought one for myself a few months ago. I said, what was it? She goes, I don't remember the name, but look for the monk. So there's the monk that I got. So there he is.
Mm-hmm.
And this is.
Okay, where's it brewed at?
It is brewed in. So this is it is actually, it's imported by Brands Alliance in St. Louis, Missouri. But the distillery is actually in Munich. What was it that it's in Germany, but it's in a subset of Munich. Let me see if I could. I know it's on here. Munich, Bavaria, Germany. So in 2010, the brewery employed 500 workers and had an annual production of almost 2.4 million hectoliters of beer. And it's one of the largest breweries in Bavaria. And they are one of the 6 breweries in Munich to brew beer for Oktoberfest.
Oh, wow.
So this particular beer has 5% alcohol by volume. The style is Hefeweizen. So it's the cloudiness that you see in there. And this particular, which you'll see right there, the Franzen Canner beer, it's a classic Bavarian unfiltered wheat beer or a Hefeweizen. It's crisp, it's refreshing, hints of clove, banana, and citrus. Cloudy because it's unfiltered yeast. And they actually have both alcoholic and non-alcoholic versions. They are now owned by Anheuser-Busch. So but it's taken a long time. There's actually a lot of history. But these beers are known for being, that's their cloudy appearance. And the name meaning Frankenkinner, sorry, its meaning is Franciscan, and it's a nod to the monks who historically brewed beer. And the beer itself is unfiltered, leaving that yeast that have for a sparkling, flavorful drink. So that's cheers to the monks. Which I thought was kind of cool. So that's this history, but the whole brewery had a whole history by itself. It's been around since 1397. And that's when alluded to the first time in Munich when ownership, they've had it since 1397. Then it changed ownership multiple times until 1854, where it moved back to where it is today. And then in 1867 became the largest brewery in the town. And 1872 was when it first served beer at Oktoberfest. So there's been a lot of changes in there, but ultimately they're owned by Anheuser-Busch. But it's 1992 is when it first reached 1 million hectoliters of bottles. That's a lot of beer. And in 1997, they combined with Lowenbrau. So
I'm just hoping you said it changed hands.
Yeah.
How many times?
Oh, multiple times. Before,
I would hope so, because in 700 years, I hope it's not the same owner.
No, it changed.
If it was, I would be buying his beer, because whatever the guy's selling, that he lived to be 700, I want that stuff. Yeah.
So the Spartan Lowenbrau group then sold in 2003 to Interbrew for 530 million euros. And then it's just, it's been just changing hands. So apparently they're doing a good job. And it was in 2017 when they first launched alcohol-free, this one in alcohol-free.
You got an alcohol-free one today?
No, this is the real stuff. This is I hope it's not. But then again, if it is, it is. 12 fluid ounces. Oh, it's in accordance with the Bavarian purity law. So it's got the staple there. That's pretty cool. Yep. So it says brewed and bottled by Spartan Brau, Munich, Germany.
Wow.
I haven't tasted it yet. So here we go.
Well, it's part of the show. Is we're supposed to be tasting this, you know.
Mm-hmm. This is interesting because they don't serve it. This particular one, even though it's a half, they don't serve it with an orange wedge, but it's got that citrusy, orangey flavor in there. So you don't even need it because the flavor is already there. It does have that little caramely flavor. I do like that. I definitely taste the citrus. I definitely taste that refreshing, crisp flavor. I'm not getting the clove, and I'm not getting the banana. I'm really not. I think because to me, it's taste that citrus forward is what I'm getting. And then that richness that it's kind of like, I like that. Okay, now I'm going to taste my my dog by itself, just the dog, nothing but the dog, and then I'll add the grilled onions and the sides and everything else.
The dog is great. But like the name of our show is Like the Way You Drink. Well, I like the way I eat. I'm going to doctor that sucker the way I like it. I'm not that I'm drowning out the taste. I just like it a certain way.
No, I like that. It has a good flavor, yeah, and it's really not that spicy. I'm going to have it with a little bit of the grilled onion, and I'm going to try it with the.
How did he cook them? Grill, or did he boil and grill, or?
You know, that's the one thing I did not ask him. I did see where he had them warmed up, but he had he was kind of in the back and did the thing. And
so I was reading as I went to get to cook mine. I cook mine on the grill, just on the grill, roll over and back and forth. But I did read one of the most interesting ways to do a brat is boil it in beer and onions. All right, to kind of pre-cook it before you put it on the grill, and then you grill it for less time just to grill it for browning.
Okay.
And in doing that, it causes it not to explode.
Okay.
Whereas the way I did it, you know what I mean, it starts to pop and come out of the skin.
Oh, so what I usually do is that I do slits on it. I do.
It says when it says cooking, it says not to slit it because you're letting the flavor out.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want it to pop. It's gonna pop, so I don't want it to do that.
But you want it to wait till it pops because all that flavor stays in it to cook it. It's when you cut it, it lets that flavor all out. And I was reading that today. I did not know that. So I was asking about cooking, how this guy cooking, because I know. I mean, I went to hot dog carts back in Philly, and and most people swear by you got to have hot dogs done by by the roller. I know hot dog guys who boiled those suckers and left them in a pan with that boiled with like onions and beer all day, and then would pull them out individually and put them and serve them, as opposed to now I cook my hot dogs here at home 90% of the time I throw it in the microwave. That's just convenience. But when you cook some of these things, the ways you cook them is how the flavor sticks. And I'm telling you, because I did listen to that this time and didn't cut them. Oh my God, there's so much more flavor in these.
Oh my goodness. With the sauerkraut. So he has two mustards out there. He has the brown mustard.
Yeah.
And then the yellow mustard. He has ketchup for those crazy of us that do like ketchup on my dog. He has jalapenos.
Yeah.
He has onions, and then he has the sauerkraut.
Sauerkraut. Does he have them grilled and raw, or just grilled?
Yeah. So if you want them grilled, he will grill them. So I said yes. So, and he doesn't charge extra for the grilling. Yeah. I like that they're kind of chunky. That's what I like about them. And of course, I went in to get the beer, and I came out. I opened my door, and I was like going, "Oh, it smells like onions in my car. It smells so good."
It all depends on the food as to whether I want my onions grilled or not.
Right.
Truthfully, all right, like if I'm having a hamburger, I don't want grilled onions. If I'm having a steak, I might want grilled onions, I might not. All right. One of the things that I like to cook a lot here at the house is I do pierogies, where I will boil them and then I will fry them in the pan and grill onions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, so if I'm having a steak, I love to saute my onions and mushrooms with butter. Then I add some red wine.
Oh, I've never done that.
Oh, yum, yum, yum. Oh, oh, there's a heat. I felt a little bit of the heat. I do like it with that brown mustard. That tastes good. And then I'm going to add a little bit of sauerkraut in there. That sauerkraut is yum. Some sauerkraut are a little overpowering. This one's a good.
I know I have it out there, but I didn't think to grab sauerkraut and bring it in today. But I always love sauerkraut on mine too. But yeah, the onions usually throw a different taste depending on which way you like it. And there's not a wrong, and truth, I'm going to tell you, there's not a wrong way to like your onions.
Right.
It's got to be personal taste. Yeah.
Absolutely. My dog, I normally don't do grilled onions, but since they were there, I was like, yeah, because I do like grilled onions. And this one was going to be kept pretty simple. And I figured I would separate it and I would eat it more of like a sausage versus a hot dog. And I am, and I've always enjoyed when I'm having, some kind of brat. I love having different types of mustards.
Yeah.
And condiments. Like there's oh my goodness, there's one that's like a mayo and a hot sauce combination. And that tastes different, but you try these different flavors on that sausage and then some grilled onions and then some grilled bell peppers, so you get all these different flavors that you can mix and match, which makes it fun. So, and I love doing the slivers because then you can do the different dips. So I do enjoy that.
Okay.
So let me add a little bit of spice here. This is good flavor beer. I really do like this. And adding a little bit of kick. I added a little bit of the jalapeno. I dipped it in. So it brought out that spiciness. I like that. I do like that. But this sauerkraut, I'm very light. Ooh, there's the vinegar side of it, but I actually really like that sauerkraut. I'm gonna have to ask him what brand he uses, unless he's making his own.
Find somebody who makes their own sauerkraut. You want to make them your buddy.
That's pretty yummy. But his teriyaki sauce I was like, all right, dude, I'm gonna have to come back. I said, you're gonna be on the podcast again. But yeah, he was like, I don't think he looks his age, because he looked to be about my age, and he's been working there since 2008, or he's been running the joint for since 2008. So I got to get his recipe for staying youthful.
Well, if he tells you it's eating his hot dogs, you'll go back for more. The part I hate about eating brats is the bread. If you don't get the right bread, it flakes off and curls in my teeth, and I hate that.
Oh, yeah. This is more of a hoagie, which I like. And he did say a lot of times when you leave a job, what you miss the most are the people, friends that you've made. And for him, he was excited that he goes, I still see them. So he still sees his friends that come over, and bosses. Now they're buying his product, and so it's for him it's kind of cool. Oh, I do like this. Oh, I like adding that little bit of jalapeno in there. I guess a little something. I like that, and with the sauerkraut. That's a good combo. I do like that. A little bit more sauerkraut. Ooh, and let's throw a grilled onion in there. I'm like building my one bite. Stay there. Stay. Wow, that was pretty yummy. I like that. But you know what? There's to have location.
Mm-hmm.
That location right next to the Home Depot. A lot of people in construction, business owners are swinging by, or the workers are swinging by. They're busy working. To be able to have a nice stop to get some teriyaki or a good dog, that's pretty cool. And he has all the drinks there, and you can do chips if you want, so it's a combo. You can put any dog on a stick.
Oh, wow.
He had a Polish one. He had an all beef. He had the spicy, and then he had another one. I can't remember what it was.
Well, I can tell you over the years, I used to love the times I was working jobs. I had to go to Home Depot, and they had some random guy with a hot dog cart there in the parking lot. I know on Saturdays when we go to Atwood's, which is a farm store up here, on some Saturdays, like the Girl Scouts or something like that, is serving hot dogs and a drink, 2 for $1 or something like that. And half the time I get it, so it'll hold me over until I'm going to have a full meal. The other half is I'm putting $1 in whatever fundraiser they're doing.
Okay.
Yeah. Well.
It wasn't until I got older that I've learned to appreciate a good dog. Growing up, we didn't eat it that often, and when we did eat it, it wasn't my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I have grown to enjoy a good dog.
There's a lot of foods that, as an adult, that I appreciate more that I didn't quite appreciate when I was younger. I know we talk about a lot of vegetables we eat. Growing up, I wouldn't have touched asparagus. Probably wouldn't have touched Brussels sprouts or spinach for that matter. Those are 3 green vegetables that I will eat every day, all the time now. Gwen and I went Friday night to a restaurant here for a date night called the Greenhouse Tavern over there in Denton, which wasn't far up from where you and I were, but it was up on a side street. And I had been there before. Gwen says she didn't remember whether she was there with us or not. But when my brother Kenny came through town, we went to there. And we had a glass of wine, and then each had a drink that they offered. I think Gwen had it was like a grapefruit gin something. A grapefruit ginger martini, I'm being told from the peanut gallery.
Okay.
She's clicking it in, and I had a smoky old fashioned.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And then our meals were good, but the Brussels sprouts. I mean, I had the Brussels sprouts. I still brought some home, didn't finish them all. And I had maybe 4 Brussels sprouts, left over that I brought home, right?
Hey, 4 Brussels sprouts can go a long way.
Well, Saturday, I think I ate that Saturday or Sunday. I think it was Saturday. I ate them for my lunch, right?
Okay.
And I ate my leftovers for my lunch or dinner, and literally all I could. Oh no, it was for dinner, because then all I could taste that night was my Brussels sprouts. And it's like growing up, I wouldn't have touched Brussels sprouts, right? Like hot dogs. Growing up, I remember having hot dogs as a kid, but it was just like, it wasn't like there wasn't an art or a craft to it like we do with food, with art and craft, right? It was just we need to throw a bunch of them in a pot and boil them type deal. Whereas now they will craft do them, and then they'll throw, they'll throw them on the grill and mix them in with some onions. All right. Throw a good relish with it. Now, relish is a whole other subject to me. I like dill relish. but
Oh.
like sweet relish. I don't know
Okay.
what yours.
There was relish there. No, I prefer the dill over the sweet relish. He did have some relish, actually. I didn't touch it because I need it, but I prefer the dill over the sweet, tolerate the sweet. But it was something I've never really liked, and I just had just a little bit. But I do remember what we used to do with hot dogs when I was growing up. They would get chopped up into pieces about that size.
Yeah.
And then they would get mixed with egg and corn tortilla. So the corn tortilla would be in the butter to get it crispy. It was cut into small slivers.
Yeah.
Then the hot dog was added to heat it through. Then the egg was added, so it becomes a scramble.
Okay.
And then we would eat it for breakfast with ketchup.
Oh, wow. I never thought about that. That's almost like we would do with a sausage. So very similar. Yeah. I know yesterday, one of the things I got at the grocery store this weekend, and I cooked them up yesterday because I knew we were going to be working all day. So it was like our snack during lunch. As they had some wings over at HEB that we just got, and they were I want to say like a buffalo style, pre-soaked and a marinade. I fired up the grill and put them on the grill, but I added some of my chicken rub to them as I cooked them. And then I was pouring the sauce back over it with the chicken rub. So it had a very similar taste to my barbecue chicken, but it was with a buffalo accent. Okay. And I thought about it, and I'm going to try this sometime. I haven't done this yet, but this is my idea that I'm going to try. I love barbecue, and I think I'm going to mix barbecue with a salsa and put that together as a marinade. So it's going to have a little bit of Mexican, a little bit of barbecue, and put my wings in that and try that, because it would be there's a million wing flavors, right? I want to invent my own.
Well, when you come out here, we're going to go to Fire on the Mountain, because Fire on the Mountain has multiple sauces that you can choose from. They have 20, 24 sauces that you can choose from.
Okay.
So you can go from mild to spicy, but all these different flavors in there that make it kind of fun and interesting to eat. So that'll be one of our stops.
Okay. Every place has got a different flavor. So, but tonight I cooked this all up in the grill. I actually got the beer. So, and mine's it's a Pilsner.
Okay. Yeah. I've had
and
that.
You said you've had it.
Yes.
But then I also have a St. Arnold, which is here in Texas. It is a craft brewery here in Texas. St. Arnold, we have some Oktoberfest, which I'm going to have some too. Which I think I've had this before on one of the recent podcasts we were doing. I just have to have, this is one of the beers I had left in the refrigerator.
Well, there is a brewery that all their beers are German style. I know that I had it, and there might be one beer left in the fridge, but I forgot to look for it. And as I was coming back to the office, I'm like, what was it that I was going to stop by and get? And I couldn't remember what it was. And I could have just pulled in and walked inside to try to figure out and remember, because there was a school bus like a few cars ahead. So I literally was stopped right in front of my place where I pulled in. But I couldn't remember what it was, and I kept going. And it wasn't until a few minutes ago that I went, oh, no, actually, when you showed yours, that I went, oh, that's what it was. It was a local Oregon one, but it was German-style beer.
Okay.
And so that would have been a fun one to compare to this one, although that one is a Pilsner, not a half. So the flavors would have been different, but just to get that feel of a German-style beer.
Yeah, half of Hefeweizen here, Pilsner here.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you guys, I like the Pilsner better.
Really?
If I were to choose between the two.
Okay.
All right. And
I went through my phase of drinking half for the longest time. That was my go-to beer.
Yeah.
Give me a half. That's what I wanted. This is a good dog and very filling. Usually one dog does not fill me. That's never enough.
Yeah, no, I can't quite finish both of mine because I'm so full.
I'm like, but this was good. I think all the toppings give it a little something, something. And with the beer. the jalapeno sauce or the juices from the jalapenos,
Yeah.
that just gave it a little something extra, in my opinion. And then pairing that with the sauerkraut.
Well, the jalapenos, it's something like they'll go well on just about anything, and then you go into pickled jalapenos or raw.
Raw will go into my
I
guac.
don't know about raw unless they're chopped up really finely on a hot dog, right? Pickled, sometimes I like the pickle on things, but not for the most part. I don't like the pickle. All right, or I don't know whether it's pickled is the right word for it. Where basically they're in a juice and they're.
I love the. I've always liked the jalapeno, the juices. When it's pickled.
Yeah.
To just drizzle the juice, if you will, of the pickling of the jalapenos. And I love that flavor. It just gives it flavor without the bite of the jalapeno. I love a grilled jalapeno where the outside has blistered and then you could just remove it. Oh, that with carne asada, that's like, I love it. Raw, I will put raw jalapenos or serranos in my pico de gallo or my guac, or even a salsa. It just depends. I'm very specific, but I usually don't just sprinkle it on top. Like I would add the pickled jalapenos to the hot dog, but I wouldn't add raw chopped jalapenos to my hot dog.
Well, if you're doing the raw ones, though, do you take the seeds out and use it, or do you take it without? We'll leave it with the seeds in.
Usually, I remove the seeds.
Yeah, because the seeds are basically, you don't know until you bite into them how bad they're going to be.
Right.
Right. I mean, and that's the problem with the raw ones. I do like it because there was a smash burger they used to have down here that was called the Chipotle Southwest burger they would put 4 of the raw ones on it.
Okay.
With the seeds in, but it also mixed with the cheese. It mixed with the sauce that went on to it. All of it was good.
Tone it down a bit.
Yeah. It tones it down so it doesn't hurt you that bad.
Yeah.
Now I do go to there's a place called Brats Tap, which is a bar up from me here, that has a chicken poblano tacos.
Okay.
All right, and the poblano is cooked into it, but they usually put a couple pieces of the jalapenos chopped up into it as well in the taco. And almost every time it'll still give me a good kick every time, but I love the flavor with the kick. Mm-hmm. Having the kick without the flavor, not worth it. It's the flavor. You got to have the right flavor coming with that jalapeno, and then I don't mind the kick at all. I really don't. And I've had the kick that kicked the shit out of me, and I still liked it because the flavor was there that enveloped the mouth. So when the burn kicks in, if it's burning with flavor, it's a different story than just burning. You understand what I mean?
I don't need to be tortured when I eat.
Yeah.
But I want that flavor.
Yeah.
So today I was taking care of stuff. A mom called. I set my phone down. And then before I got to my next thing, I thought, man, I'm hungry. And then my phone dinged, and it was my office neighbor. Her not only did it ding, it came up because I just put the phone down. And she said that her landscaper's wife had made tamales and had given her a dozen. She had left 2 for me in the fridge. Perfect for me. I finished off what I needed to do. I heated it up. So this is a chicken tamale with the green sauce. It was the outside was nice and fluffy, and it was moist. And then the inside, the chicken, that green sauce had a kick, but it had so much flavor that it was like that perfect blend of, I can tolerate this heat because this is so much flavor. And a lot of times tamales, they get dry.
Yeah.
These were nice and moist and fluffy. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is so good.
Yeah.
So they did a good job with that. I was very
well. I mean, you talk about tamales. There's certain things that we talk about. The food truck you got it from, right? There's certain things about that food truck ambiance, right, and food truck type flavor. I'll tell you that some of the best foods I've had over the years from food trucks were, and I can remember them every time. I worked for worked for Midas Muffler in Montgomeryville, Pennsylvania. And the food truck that came in was this lady that literally she came in between morning break and lunch. And that was our lunch. Usually that's when we would eat lunch when she came in, probably about 11:15. And there's two things she had that was good on there. One, she made a cheesesteak and egg sandwich.
Ooh.
Oh, baby. This thing was, I want to say it was close to $5. But if you ate it, you were not going to have to eat it until dinner. I mean, it was a full breakfast sandwich with cheesesteak. The second thing she had on there was she made good chili. Put some fresh chopped red onions on top of that sucker and just eat it. And it was some of the best chili, you know what I mean, till date that I've ever had. I keep trying to make something as good at it, I just can't. All right. That was one food truck. The other one was in the 1980s. Before that, I was in Tewksbury, Massachusetts, working for the Atamian Motor Company, which was a Volkswagen and Honda dealer at the time. And they had a food truck that would come in twice a day. And the gentleman who came in the afternoon and the evening, all right, was the first time I ever had shepherd's pie.
Oh.
That's why I remember that one. Right? Now, the last one was working for the car wash in Plano, Texas. And having the guy come up with his Datsun B210, and he opened up the trunk and he had a pot in the trunk, he had a pot on a burner where he was warming it, and he was literally pulling out the shells, putting on the meat, wrap it, and hand you a taco, baby.
Wow.
All right. And I remember those tacos were the best. The tamales, they will beat any food truck that you've ever had, because this guy probably got up at 5 a.m. and cooked it on his burner at home, right? And then put it in the trunk of his car and had that thing something with it to keep it warm. Yeah. All right. And they were handmade and hand served, a buck a piece.
Wow. I remember buck a piece tacos. That was a while ago. Most of them they went too. I remember, so one of the jobs that I had, it was quite interesting. There was this food truck that had their route, and they would stop at our location because we had, 400 people in this building. And the food truck was there at like 9:45 or 9:30. I think it was 9:30 because there was like two groups of people that would take breaks. And so they were there for half an hour. And she was fast. Oh my goodness. And we go out there, have our 15-minute break, maybe order, maybe not. And then she was back again, I think at like 12:30. So she had two stops at our building, but she had multiple stops in downtown LA that she made at certain times to hit the brakes of the people in those buildings. And she did a good job. But the thing is that she had a lot of turnaround of food, that everything was always fresh because she was selling. She was constantly selling. She was
selling, and basically what she was selling and putting together was what she was able to get at the market that week.
Yeah.
That's the food that you want. Mm-hmm. All right. Whereas this, I'll bet you anything, the guy who made these tacos went, down here to the Mexican meat market, and he bought all of his meat there and just basically went home and cooked it every day. Where he had a set recipe, but he had a secret store to go get it. In other words, I wasn't going to get that meat at the local Kroger. Yeah. No, baby. He had a special spot to go get that stuff.
Oh, there was this other, and he was more of a kiosk than a food truck. Mm-hmm. I remember that we would stop there if we wanted adobada. The guy had already layered all the meat with and it was like, it's one of those that spins around and it cooks. And he would just spear off the meat to the taco. Oh my goodness. People would come, and then we'd line up at all hours, getting these tacos. They were just so good. Those were a couple of bucks each, and you had your salsas. And I do remember this one time being up in Snohomish, Washington after a Spartan race. There was a Mexican food truck there, and one of my peeps wanted a burrito. And because there were so many people, they had it down to very like 3 things or 2 things, I can't remember. And there was really nobody around at that moment. And I said, I know it's not on the menu, but can he get a burrito? And I spoke to her and I asked, and she's like kind of looked around. She goes, okay. She goes, I'll make it, but don't tell anybody. She goes, and I'll give it to you on the side. I said, okay. And then the line all of a sudden, boom. And so then she called me over and she kind of just handed it over to me over here. And we walked over and I'm like, so she got a really good tip for that one. But,
Yeah.
you know, you didn't want just the taco. You wanted, you know, I said, he'll pay for it. Just, you know, and she's like, I'll do it for you. So she took care of us, you know. It just sometimes all you have to do is ask. The worst they can say is no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's go back to what our theme was about here today with German beer. Do you have German restaurants up there?
Yes, actually we do.
Where is yours at?
One is it's in North Portland. There used to be 3.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're down to 1. One used to be really close to me, maybe 20 minutes away by one of the malls. They closed that one down some years ago. There's one in either North or Southeast Portland. I can't remember exactly. I'd have to look it up. But I do remember going there probably 2024 was the last time I went there. But it has, I mean, it's a big building and it's just the ambiance, the food. I mean, it's spot on. Then going to Mount Angel, there is I don't remember if it's German or Belgian. I'll have to look up, but there's at least a couple of German restaurants out here.
Okay. So we've got one that I know of in Plano, downtown, Old Town Plano. There's one that we've gone to a couple times. My mom found it. We went. But other than that, south of Dallas, and I do mean south, like almost probably about 10, 15 miles from Waco.
Okay.
South. So you're looking at more than almost 75 miles south because Waco's about 100. So there's a town called West. Not West Texas. The town is called West. So it is the town of West, Texas, right? And they have a lot of German style foods there. They have, you know what I mean, different German style stuff. And they have several different German restaurants there. So that is the other places there. The one thing we used to have and we don't have anymore, and the same thing my brother lived in Orlando. They had one, and that theirs is gone too. Was I really would love the Polish restaurants.
Okay.
All right, and we had a Polish one that used to be on the highway between Plano and Allen. So I mean they're you know they were a good Polish place. But there's, you know what I mean? It's like you and I can sit and talk here and talk about Mexican places. There's a million of them.
Yeah.
But the German, it's kind of hard to find you a German restaurant. It's kind of hard to find you a Polish restaurant. Kind of hard to find you a Belgian restaurant, right?
Right. Yeah.
They're just rarer to find.
It's called Gustav's. That's the one I was thinking of.
Okay.
And so now that I'm looking, the only Gustav's that's left, it's up in Vancouver. It's not even here.
Look at this. Robert's having Polish sausage.
Technically,
Robert, we're having Polish sausage, but it's a brat. So it's just a different name for it.
Yeah.
But technically it's the same thing.
Yeah, so Gustav's, yeah, that one's yeah, I had forgotten that's the one I went to, but it was, I guess they closed. Ziegelhaus Brewing Company is the one I was thinking of. It's got a guy with the you know, it's a cute little, yeah. And then there's Urban German Wursthaus, German cuisine. They are, is that John's Landing? It's Portland, but it's like way West Portland, kind of a little while. And then Edelweiss Sausage and Delicatessen. They're also in Portland, Southeast Portland. So that one, I've never been there, so I'm going to have to try that one. And well, it says Otto and Annie's European Restaurant, and they are also in Portland. Oh, yeah, on Canby Street in Portland. But the mountain.
So what is their definition though of European restaurant though? That's always the.
Yeah, the caveat is what this Mount Angel Sausage Company. Well, they said German cuisine, even though it said European restaurant, it said German cuisine. So if I look at it says Bavarian restaurant. It says Otto and Anita's Bavarian restaurant.
So Bavarian's almost
Oh.
I don't know. I can't label Bavarian. So like, but like we go to a lot of beer places here in town. Like over in downtown Fort Worth, we've got this place called,
Oh, they do have Wiener Schnitzel, Jaeger Schnitzel, Ram Schnitzel, Kaiser Schnitzel,
yeah.
and a sandwich and a hot chicken schnitzel sandwich.
So they're kind of a blend of everything then.
Yeah. And we are getting together with some friends in May. We're going to be doing a German food potluck. So I'm going to be making an apple punch. And then I will also be making a potato and apple. It's like a mashed potato with apples in it that has grilled crispy onions on top. And you can add sausage to it. All the schnitzels, all the things. So we're going to have a plethora of German food. Looking forward to that.
So, I mean, well, we're getting kind of close with our Reubens, which we had which I think we've done here. We've done the Reuben quesadillas that we've done. Yeah. Which we love here at our house. All right. And it's all of what you want to combine.
Right.
But it's an interesting concept to do different things. And like, well, the other one's Italian. Everybody's got an Italian restaurant.
Oh yeah. There's plenty of Italians here.
But
the one that was here in town closed and now it's a Mexican restaurant.
We had, where we used to live down by the condo, we had an Irish pub. I missed that. And that place closed down because they redid the shopping center into a new apartment complex or whatever. And the guy had just bought that stupid bar. And I think he found another location. I don't know, because we don't live down there anymore. It's an almost an hour drive to go down there. But still, we used to go over there for this Irish bar and had all kinds of fun there. We actually had a night there where my cousin Stacy was in town with her boyfriend, and we all went there, and it happened to be like trivia night.
Oh yeah.
And we won, of course. With my put a bunch of Gillettes in the room, we're gonna win.
Yeah, we do have Kells that's well known, and somebody didn't believe about COVID that it was a big deal, but when Kells closed on St. Patty's Day, it's like, oh, I guess this is serious.
I guess this is serious. A bar, an Irish bar, closes on St. Patty's Day? This could be serious.
That's what it took for them to realize that it was serious, yes. It's a cool bar, actually. They always have events there, and they have it downstairs. It's fun. It's fun. Yeah. So that's Kells. But yeah, anyway. This was a good choice. I'm glad we did this. This was fun.
This was a cool, fun thing. I'm glad we did this one too. So really, really unique. I'm going in here to try to find things for us. All right. So a couple little things before we go, ladies and gentlemen. Gladys and I are building a VIP Insiders Club. I know Insiders Club, kind of a unique, funny name, but we haven't figured out what we're going to call it. But basically, it's a club where you get to hang out with us, do tastings with us, and we record it and stuff like that. You get to enjoy stuff with us. All right, you must be 21 to join, because we invite you to alcohol-related events, and you must be 21 for us to be able to share that information with you via the web. We cannot even share alcoholic recipes with you if you're not 21. All right. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, Gladys and I have been putting on the show for over 4 years now. All right. We're at 180 episodes, and our businesses pay the bills for this thing. We don't have a lot. We've only had one outside sponsor, and we're open to it, but we just don't have them. Our companies sponsor this podcast every week. All right. And for the most part, we do that to keep a neutral opinion. So we can't have someone sponsor it, and then we've got to say they're better than everyone else. So that's kind of why we do it. All right. Not saying we won't sponsor, but that's got to be our rules, is we have to be open. All right. Because we're open to try things and not be caught into favor based on what someone's paying us. So that being said, we all do a brief commercial about our businesses. All right. In case you know someone who needs our services, we ask that you please recommend it, because that does help us keep the lights on here at Like the Way You Drink podcast. So we start out with Gladys. She always tells about hers first. So go ahead there, young lady.
Thank you, Jim. Gladys Boutwell, Insurance by Design, helping you become employer of choice through providing employee benefits. There's 101 different ways that you can provide employee benefits so that you can attract and retain quality staff. But guess what? What are they? If you don't know how to show your staff that you love them and appreciate them, they may decide to leave for $1 somewhere else. why not provide the benefits to them so that way they stay? Why don't you go on my calendar and we can start the conversation? Go to enrollnoworegon.com. That's my calendar link, and we will start the conversation. If you're in a state that I can't help you, guess what? I will find somebody who can. That's Gladys Botwell, Insurance by Design. And this is my co-host.
Hi, guys. I'm Tim Gillette, Simple Easy Websites. I actually build Simple Easy websites. I build them for the American small business owner because that's who I am. I want your website to be bringing you leads while you're working. Your website to bring you leads while you spend time with your family. I even want your website to bring you leads while you're sleeping. Because if your website isn't generating leads, it's just a really expensive business card. Simple, easy websites. We build websites for the American small business owner because that's who we are. That's who we care about. Some of you remember where that commercial came from.
Don't be aging us.
Huh?
Don't be.
Do you remember where that line came from?
No.
You don't? When I said it at my networking group this week, they sure as hell remembered it. And they actually remembered the guy who said it on the movie.
Okay, I was going to say, was it a Chevy commercial?
No. It was in the movie Tommy Boy, and it was Ray Zielinski and Tommy Boy. I build American car parts for the American small, because that's who I am and that's who I care about. Yeah.
Man, I saw that movie one time, a long time ago. Oh,
hey, at least it wasn't one time at band camp. While
that?
We're going through movie bad lines. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have enough fun for 1 week. We're going to actually see you guys back here next week. In the meantime, all right, we want to tell you guys to drink responsibly. Have fun doing it. All right. Got to like the way you drink. Cheers.